Please sponsor us. Please sponsor us. Please sponsor us. Please.
You're listening to TKR.
Well, guys, this is our final episode. Welcome. Just kidding. Welcome back to TKR. I am the TK part of TKR. With me is the R part of TKR with Riley.
Hello.
And you guys might have noticed that we missed a week. That is because we took a mental health week, which we advocate for everyone taking a mental health day if possible. And also the episode is coming out late. We're busy. Don't add us. We're getting there.
Yeah. Faux show.
How was your week so far?
Oh man. What day is it today? Is it Tuesday yet?
No, I believe it's What Do Stay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's only Monday and I'm already exhausted. I want it to be the weekend. So
Woke up Monday morning and said, "Oh, why can't it be Friday?"
yeah, pretty much. That's how it's been going lately.
Ew.
But yeah. It's fine. Mentally exhausting, but it's fine.
And this is why we took the break, guys. It's okay.
Yeah. Oh, so too much going on. It's just so much.
I
Between
believe
rehearsals and I've been keeping up on my artwork thing, but I just have not had proper time to do it healthily, if that makes sense.
Oh, you have artwork? Where do you stream doing that?
Twitch.tv/RJD_studios.
What?
Yeah, I've been trying to stream a little bit more in my free time.
Okay, with our resolutions as well, both of us have started to stream more. I think I missed a day, and I'm gonna be streaming it once we're done recording because it's currently 4:15 on a Monday. But holy crap, does it get difficult to consistently do the schedule when you have a life around it?
Yeah, for sure. No, and that's why I have just don't have a schedule at all.
Yeah.
Which is fine because I'm not planning on going full in on the streaming thing. It's just kind of like a casual thing for now. I know. But it's just like there's absolutely no way I can actually plan a week stream because it's just everything on my schedule between work and musical rehearsals and everything else is just constantly changing.
Oh yeah, no, it's bad.
And
when is the actual performance? Is it December again? No, that would be too late.
Yeah, it's February 20 something.
A month in 5 days?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Ooh,
it's crazy.
Can you imagine they gave you till December?
I mean, it's just bad. It's just so exhausting.
Oh yeah.
Like it's so. I don't want to say too much specifically, but it's just so unorganized and it's just hard to keep up.
Are you like regretting your decision to be part of this musical, or are you still having the enjoyment part of it, like last one?
No, I have absolutely. There's very little joy in it, unfortunately. Which I hate to say because it's, there have been moments, but it's very few and far between. It's just hard to keep up.
Yeah.
Because it's not even anybody's fault in specific, but it's just a lot of uncontrollable things too. Where it's like, oh, our vocal director has pretty much been absent the entire time.
No.
And she went on some long vacation and then because she was supposed to be back this week so we could do vocals. And it's like, hey, good news. She's back from her vacation. Bad news. She came back and got COVID.
Aww.
So now we're completely, Sunday afternoon, right before rehearsal started, they sent out an email and it was just like, oh, by the way, we're changing the entire schedule for this week.
Oh.
And so it's just like, It's crazy how last minute everything is.
Let me guess, 6 or 7 until like 10 to 11.
Yeah, 6 to 9:30. And since I'm in pretty much every single scene for ensemble, I'm just there every night. And so it was, and we've had really crappy weather up here. They've not canceled at all because of weather. Which is insane. There was, I think, 1 night or 2 nights last week where I emailed them. I'm like, yeah, I'm not coming in.
Yeah, especially
I just drove home from work and almost went off the road. I'm not going out for rehearsal. Sorry.
It sucks too, because like you're doing you have to be there every time, but no vocalist is so bad.
Yeah, and so that's the problem too, is, which I understand for a lot of people, this is their main hobby. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, yeah, most people are more than happy to dedicate this much time to it. Me, who's trying to get the artwork thing to take off and all this other stuff, it's just a lot.
Yeah,
because that's the problem too, is with the vocal stuff, they expect us to be learning that stuff outside of our normal rehearsal time as well.
What?
And so I've been trying to do, I talked in the last episode about that art contest that Todd McFarlane, the comic artist, was doing.
Right.
For Spawn. So I've been trying to keep up with that, and I just have not had as much time as I would have liked to. I'm trying to juggle all these things, and it's just exhausting.
And before anyone says, "Oh, I wonder why they took a week off. Oh, they needed who needs a mental health break?" This is why we're not running him into the ground. He's the editor, he's the producer, he's a host. I need him. Please.
Yeah, and yeah. And I don't want to give up the podcast, obviously, because it is important. But
it might be a good thing to just go on hiatus for a little bit. That's a possibility. Because I mean,
yeah, and I don't know. I guess like it's just one of those things where I need to just take breaks where I can. Mm-hmm. And so it's like this worked out fine because, you know, I made it very easy. I'm like, we're just doing audio today.
Yeah.
Just so it might be touch and go for at least the next couple of weeks, but we're not giving up this early.
We might have TK find guests on days that Riley can't, and we renamed the podcast to be TK, whatever the guest first initial is.
No, okay, I would be totally okay with that. Like if you wanted to have like a guest host on.
I thought about it. I have someone in mind immediately. It's just if I can get her to be on.
Yeah.
I think we both know who I'm talking about.
I think so too.
What's her first initial?
B?
No, we're not thinking of the same person. I was thinking of
J.
Then
okay. That was my second guess. I know you wanted to have a guest on where we were talking about it a few episodes ago or something. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, but no, if you want to do that, that'd be totally fine.
I figured, but
I will. I think I've got the intro and outro clips, just like those music bits, all like edited and faded out and everything. I've just got those clips saved, so I could just upload those to the drive, and you could just throw them on whatever.
Nice.
Whatever you
anyone that
record.
hacks into our accounts, we trademark them. We put our name somewhere in them. Don't fight us on this. We put
we actually use the NFT blockchain to mint our intro and outro, so we can actually track who's using it and where.
The outro that we stole from a website that said free to use.
We didn't steal it. It was free to use.
We went to page 2.
Yeah, we went to that one Pixabay or whatever.
I think it was Pixabay, yeah.
Whatever their music website is, and we just scrolled through and it was like, hey, it was actually TK who found that one.
It was so funny because it was a call we were doing, like our final go through of everything we want to do for the podcast, and Riley's like, "Oh, check out this website. Let's find one." I'm like, "Okay, I'll look for the songs," and I clicked on 3, and the third one, I'm like, "Oh, I found it." He goes,
Yeah.
what? He goes, I found the perfect one. Send it to him over, and he's like, oh, that works. So I'm like, yay!
Yeah. And I love our intro thing. It's perfect.
It's so good. The only other one I'd be fine with is the intro that I use for my streams that someone made for me. That I haven't heard it in a while.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to play it today on stream.
Yeah, do it. Speaking of stream, TK rebranded.
Yeah.
I don't think you've shouted out any of that stuff on an episode yet.
No, because I only decided to do it after the resolution. But
yeah.
The TLDR, with my resolution being I wanted to stream more, I want to become an affiliate, I decided to rebrand because I wanted Bravery TK to be what it was. It was my journey to get to the point I'm at now. So I dropped the name, and now I am under the name Awire, twitch.tv/Awire. That's spelled AYYWIRE.
Which is such a cool name.
I know. Did I ever tell you the name I tried going for?
I think so.
There were so many people.
Taken.
The name I tried going for the viewers at home was Mako, Maeko, but there were so many people. Like I tried doing
Which
different
is that like a thing?
No, honestly, no. I don't really know. It was just something that came into my head. This was the main thing. Like Mako just came into my head. I think I got it from now I know where I got it from. I got it from Yu-Gi-Oh! Mako Tsunami.
Okay, so yeah, there's probably a bit of history behind that name.
Maybe, but I don't think I spelled it the same. But like, yeah,
okay.
No matter what way I tried spelling it. So also other thing, I did a little bit of big braining, and I put all the names into Google Translate to make sure that Google Translate could say the names. So if someone donates to me through text to speech, they don't say the wrong, like the weird name.
Oh yeah,
So
that's smart.
That's how I decided how to spell each of the names I tried. But no matter what way I spelled Mako, all of them were taken already.
Wow, that's crazy.
I know, right? And that's why I was so terrified to say the name before I switched over, because like if someone took that spelling, I was screwed, because it took me like 6 hours of pacing back and forth in my room to be like, what's a name?
Yeah, that's okay though. The Awire name is really cool. I like it.
You want to know how I came up with it?
Yeah,
I watched an Apex player named Lamek999 play Watson, and then the name just came to me.
Huh.
Don't have anything other than that. The word Awire was not even said once in the video. Nothing. I watched the video multiple times over to see like what did I get it from, and literally there's nothing in the video that comes even close to the pronunciation of that word. I'm like, oh, cool. Thanks, Lamek.
That's really funny. Interesting. Yeah, it worked though. Hey,
yeah,
we take it.
And then I have been streaming a lot more. I think, like I said earlier, I missed one day, but I have made it up by streaming Saturday and Sunday. But I'm, again, not making a schedule like Riley said, because it would be too difficult to maintain it. But
especially in the winter. For your job specifically in the winter.
Tuesday was the winter storm that we had.
Yeah.
I started work at 3 a.m. and got out of work at 4 p.m. I was not streaming that day.
Yeah. And that was only the first winter storm.
It started before, like, I usually do like 8 to 4, 9 to 5. It was like a 3 or 6 day every day for the entire week. I'm like, there's no way I'm streaming on a day that I'm starting that early. It's just not gonna happen.
No, definitely not.
Oh, it was wild.
Yeah, and then this big hurricane blew through, and yikes, it's crazy.
I've had so many people complain. For those of you that don't know, that listen to some outside of where we live, you're cool. Thank you for listening to us. We don't know who you are, but thank you. We live in Michigan, and with so many people I'm at work are like, I hate that we have winter. I'm like, we don't have hurricanes. We barely have crocodiles. We don't have volcanoes. Be grateful for what you have.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
like,
crazy.
You just need to put on boots and a heavy jacket. Other people have to literally like find a way to deal with earthquakes on the regular. Like we're
right.
We're fine.
Right. Yeah, and it's you know, a lot of businesses like close down.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they didn't, I would just call my work and say absolutely not. Because they didn't close. I just wasn't on the schedule anyways, but it's, yeah, it could always be worse. We're not dealing with hurricanes. And
I think that's the biggest thing about leaving high school that they never fucking taught you is that snow days don't exist everywhere else. You still have a 9 to 5 when you get out. Some days
Yeah.
I wake up after just graduating high school. I'm like, oh yeah, no school. Then I realize it's college and everyone lives on campus, and I'm like, there's no way I'm driving to my school, my college campus, to go to one class that's like an hour today. Like, no, not happening. I called in.
No.
They're like, you're gonna lose points. I'm like, what?
You're like, all right, whatever then.
So it's either I potentially die, or I potentially die very later in life.
Yeah, exactly. Pick and choose your battles, man.
Do I die now or later? How much later is the question.
Yeah, right. The world may never know.
Speaking of winter, sorry, this is a small tangent before we get on our topic. I was at work, and I started work at 4 a.m. on, I think it was Saturday or Sunday. I think it was Saturday. And I'm like sitting, waiting to start work, when I see this minivan start like speeding, right? Like it's the roads are like, it's like a 15 miles an hour. And this car is going like 30, 35 in this short distance. I watched this guy spin out. His side of the car hits like a huge snowbank, makes a dent for his mirror into the snowbank, and then he gets back on the road and starts driving 45. I'm like, dude, you just messed up.
Oh, man. Yeah, I was a friend of mine was telling me a story like that the other day. He used to have this Jeep that was kind of a junker. Mm-hmm. He didn't really worry about it, and so he lives back on this dirt road that just never gets plowed. Mm-hmm. And so he was driving the Jeep probably a little faster than he should have been given the weather. And a car started coming down the narrow dirt road the other way, so he's like, oh, I'll just pull to the side, you know. He started slowing down, obviously couldn't stop, slowed down, and so he just, to avoid hitting anybody, he just swerved into a snowbank. Mm-hmm. No damage or anything.
Oh, that's good.
But he said under that, he didn't know under that snowbank was a little tree. And so he just hit the snowbank and just stopped dead in his tracks when he hit a small tree. And surprisingly no damage, but it was funny because apparently there was like the indent of his Jeep grill perfectly in that snowbank. And so his wife was driving home later that day and she saw the snowbank with the clearly his Jeep grill indented in it. And she was like, "What happened?" He's like, "It's fine."
Imagine like cops showed up and they did like the dead body cutout of the Jeep bumper.
Run diagnostics.
We need a blood sample.
We need to know what reverse search this car.
We need the make and model and the year. Yesterday, this snowbank was murdered.
That's so funny.
Also, it's weird to think about. This is the longest we've gone without talking since we started the podcast.
I know.
2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks. Yeah. It's crazy.
And with that being said, today's my episode because I wanted Riley to take a break and take a breather. So
I think TK's done 3 episodes in a row now.
No, we're fine. We're fine. So this one is a little bit of another reading one for me. So strap yourselves in. You're going to hear my voice a little bit more. We're doing the biggest scandals in some categories I chose. Ooh. So I have none of these in order. I read over them like a month ago, and I don't remember what any of them say. I just have some of the titles. I have the page pulled up, and then the categories we have are esports, we have normal sports, and then we have MCU for Riley.
Yay.
which one would you like to start with, and then we'll go from there.
Let's not start with MCU. I feel like we got to work our way up to that. Let's start with esports.
Esports, okay. So some of these might be a little bit short, but we're gonna get through them and we're gonna have some fun. So weirdly, on this website of the biggest esports scandals of the past 10 years, posted, oh wow, almost a year ago. That was over a year ago. It was January 13th of 2023. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of them are CS:GO related.
Completely unsurprisingly.
So we're gonna run through all of them because
all right,
funny.
let's do it.
So for anyone that's in the esports era and knows anything about cheaters, I think this is the most notorious one. Have you ever heard of the pro esports player Forsaken in CS:GO?
I think so.
So, I won't read the actual words unless I don't really know about it. But Forsaken, for those you don't know, he was part of a esports team called Optic India. They came all the way from India to America. I think it was like Texas or California to play in a CS:GO tournament. They were warming up the team, and people had noticed that Forsaken's aim was a little bit too sharp, a little bit too precise, right? He was doing very well. His flicks were very suspicious. There was one damning evidence where he flicked to someone through a wall and hit a headshot, and then the staff was like, hey, that doesn't look right. We're going to check his PC. They go over to him. It's like, hey, we need to check your PC because we think you're cheating. He goes, no. And he starts like refusing. He profusely refuses them the ability to look at his hard drive to the point where like they're like reaching over. It's like, no, we're doing it because we're paying you for this tournament. He starts batting the people's hands away from his PC while he quickly tries to delete a file. They finally pull him away and they're like, yeah, you know, we're doing it. They open up and they find a suspicious file named word.exe. And under that,
oh no!
Under that is his cheat software that he renamed word.exe to make it not so obvious. Fun thing though, he didn't change the icon of it, so it literally was just the cheat logo with word.exe.
Oh my gosh, that's insane. Okay, so was this not like they brought their own computers?
Yeah, So
that's weird.
I think back then it was like that a lot more because a lot of esports wasn't as big. This was like in
right.
I think it was in the 2010s or a little bit earlier.
Okay, so still pretty early on.
Like they didn't have the funding that they did. They basically the entire funding of most esports just went to the venue, and after that was just the seats. So after that, it was like, oh, you guys are on your own. So most people brought their own PCs. But yeah, he brought his own.
That makes sense.
And then the funniest part was his response. So after the team found out that he was cheating, they were disqualified completely, and they're sent back to India. He released statements saying that the rest of the team didn't know that he was cheating and that he was sorry and that he didn't mean it. Even though he downloaded the cheat software.
Even though he totally meant it. That's wild.
And to top it all off, Optic India disbanded completely. Optic dropped the entire roster. You gotta
feel bad for the rest of them.
Literally, I feel so. The entire rest of the roster was dropped because this fuckhead cheated.
I just don't understand, because to get to that level, you clearly have to have some form of skill.
Yeah, so what it might have been,
unless he was actually cheating the whole time.
So I mean, oh wow, okay. So by the way, the tournament was in 2018. So
okay, so this is it's weird that they make them bring their own computer.
Yeah, who knows?
Interesting.
But I think in terms of all this, there's no way he would have gotten on the team if he was cheating. So it might have been a thing of like he was just a very good player, and the pressure of the tournament got to him. of like, because I think it was a $300,000 tournament for first place.
Oh,
so
dang.
$300,000. I mean, it's going to be split across your organization, but that's a big win because not only does Optic win, they then get more recognition and they make more revenue for them to pay him more. So it probably was just like him, like, I got to win this tournament. Like, we got to win. And the pressure got to him, and then he decided to download cheats, and then he's like, they're gonna know it's cheats. I'll hide it by naming it word.exe.
That's the crazy part. That's so funny.
I think what's even funnier was the response that people gave to it afterwards. Every time, like, the CSGO community, which personally I'm not a part of, but I just like watching cheaters get caught. Yeah. Everyone clowned him so bad. Like, some people made videos like, oh no, they found the .exe file.
Well, to even like, that's the funnier part to me, is that he went to the effort to do that. But literally, it's not that hard to change the icon. Like, it's literally in the same window that you would change the name of the thing. You just click properties, click change icon, and put whatever you want in. Like, the fact that oh my gosh, that's the funniest part to me, is that he went to the effort to change the name, but then thought that was just enough.
It's even funnier too, because like he didn't think it through enough. Because I don't know if you know that Task Manager will show what files are running when you're in game.
Yeah.
So he thinks that it'll be fine if Word document is running during a CSGO tournament.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, just had to write my term paper, middle of the game, know, just bap, like the fitness gram pacer test.
I didn't even think about that aspect of it. That's even funnier. That's like so poorly thought out. Could have been anything. Could have even been like OBS.
Yeah.
Which granted, it might have already had OBS running if they were doing a tournament, but like, just name it some other. That's wild. That's so funny.
Then to bat away the hands of the staff that are like, yeah, we got to check your PC. I'm sorry. What is like, no. He goes, oh, okay. We can continue the tournament now, guys. If he's cheating, he's cheating. But
it just makes me. I wish I could have seen the look on their face when he just said no. It's like that one. Do you remember the steamed hams meme from The Simpsons?
No.
Oh, it was just this clip from The Simpsons about steamed hams. The principal was having like the superintendent or something over at his home for dinner, and he was making burgers or something, but they ended up burning, and it started his kitchen on fire. Mm-hmm. And so he's just like, "What's that?" He's trying to not let him know that his kitchen's on fire. So he's like, "What's all that light?" He's like, "It's Aurora Borealis." Aurora Borealis at this time of the year and this season, completely localized inside of your kitchen. Yes. Can I see it? No. Just like that. Just that abrupt no. That's all that made me think of. Can I see it? No. That's wild.
I know.
To think that you like the gall to think that you can get away with something like that is just mind-boggling.
Especially like because I forgot to mention this. It's a LAN event, so they are physically in the compound doing
this. This isn't like
for the
away.
viewers
like
at home that are listening to this. They are literally there.
At any point, somebody could come and just like look over your shoulder. That's so funny. That's crazy.
Could you imagine like you're like an administrator and you walk over and you see this kid not move his mouse but hit someone in the head perfectly? Like, that looks suspicious.
Uh-huh.
Then he's like, why is word.exe running?
I don't know.
And speaking of cheating, funny. The next CSGO one is over 30 CSGO coaches caught cheating.
Oh, dang.
So I don't know about this one, so I'm going to read. This is a very small paragraph, so we're going to go through it. Another CSGO cheating scandal followed in 2020 when it was discovered that at least 37 pro CSGO coaches had exploited a bug which allowed them to spectate the map freely during matches and relay information to their team. They were sanctioned by Esports Integrity Commission and in 2021 by Valve itself, which permanently banned 4 coaches and created a new rule which disallows non-players from joining the server during competition.
Dang.
Ooh.
Okay, but here's the thing though. If it's a bug in the game, is it really cheating?
It is. Okay, so that's actually that's a good point, but I will bring up one because there's a Fortnite version of this. So
yeah.
You remember the video, I think, right? That I showed with Markulakulis?
I think so.
So TLDR for everyone listening, a pro esports player, Markulakulis, was at a Fortnite event and he was killed by an opponent and he was downed, but a bug prevented him from dying. He was at 0 health and he just was not being killed. His teammate then came along, killed the guy that was trying to kill him. He was then revived and he continued playing. So he exploited a bug. So the problems lie, now the fact there is a bug. No one can control the fact that there is a bug in either situation. The problem is the players using the bug to gain an advantage that the other players don't know about.
Right, exactly. And so if that's I guess what I was trying to get at is if all the coaches are using it, then what's the issue? Clearly, a lot of people knew that this was a bug that they could exploit.
Yeah.
But I guess it's the thing of if not everybody knew it was a thing.
It's also I just realized. Okay, so that makes it so much worse. So it's because it's the coaches. So they're not players. So they're in like the spectate place.
Right.
So
yeah, exactly.
They can freely go see like, oh, hey, my team of 6 or 7 people, they're pushing this side. They're at this location right now. Like, oh, they're looking now kind of thing. So I think that's probably why. It was just like, it was so game breaking that if your team had it and the other opponent didn't, you basically lose if you guys have the same gun skill. It literally leaves nothing to chance.
Right, exactly. And so I totally agree that that's like shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
But if it's a thing that everybody was exploiting, then like it should be a relatively even playing field, right?
Oh my god, I didn't read the last sentence. Also in 2021, 35 CSGO players were suspended from betting on matches. Ooh.
Oh, okay. Okay, well then that goes in a different issue if those two things were going hand in hand.
Yeah. Ooh.
That's a different situation. Ooh. I see.
All right.
Yeah.
Number 3.
All right.
We have the titles are so funny. So the first one was Forsaken brings an aimbot to a Counter-Strike tournament. The second one was over 30 CSGO coaches caught cheating. And the third one is CSGO again, but this time it's drugs. In 2015, the ESL stated that, quotes, esports needs to mature, end quotes, after a member of North America CSGO team Cloud9 revealed that the team was, quotes, all on Adderall at ESL.
Oh, no.
One Kataweis and suggested that everyone at the event takes the stimulant, which is used to treat ADHD. After the incident, the league instituted randomized drug testing. Holy shnikes.
That's insane.
How... That coach needs to be fired immediately. Let's just start with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Who thinks of that?
Right. It's like, how do I get my team to perform better? Here's some Adderall.
Also, how are you getting that much Adderall?
Right. That's crazy.
An entire team is just, oh my god.
That's like the baseball equivalent of using steroids.
Seriously.
It's just like, oh, how do you do that's insane. Just like, I didn't think there was performance enhancers for esports, but I guess it's just Adderall.
I just find the response funny of esports needs to mature. Like,
yeah,
it's not okay, no. it is their fault as well. They are the one taking the Adderall, but we don't know behind the scenes. They might have got pressured into it, might have got threatened to get kicked off the team. But that is insane to think like a coach is there
crazy.
like, you know what, guys? I know what you need. Adderall.
Yeah,
let's
pops
go.
open a Ziploc baggie.
My wife told me I needed
fix.
this, but I don't think I do. So I'm going to give it to you guys so my wife thinks I'm using them.
That's insane.
What the... And the last one that we have for CSGO, the title is CSGO One More Time for Skin Gambling. In 2016, the practice of CSGO skin gambling erupted in an enormous controversy with years of fallout, including scandals involving rigged promo videos and undisclosed advertising, state intervention, and multiple lawsuits. So this one is actually very... do you know about the... I know most about the undisclosed advertising. Do you know about that one in the rigged program? So
not really.
There would be content creators like Twitch streamers or YouTubers or something of the like that would randomly one day like, hey, I found this skin gambling website for CSGO. And they start playing it and they start winning and losing, but they progressively would be winning a lot more than losing. They'd literally like, if there was a ratio, they'd win like 80-20, right?
Yeah.
And so they'd encourage their fans to also play. It's like, oh man, it's so easy. Like, it's so much fun. You get the most value out of it. People would play it. They wouldn't get as much of a win. It'd be a 50-50 for everyone else. But for some reason, the streamer constantly was just winning, driving up hype. What they wouldn't disclose is that they own that website or that program. So they are gambling with their own money. So regardless if they win or lose, they've won. And they're tricking their probably young fan base to start gambling on the website, which they have a 50-50 chance of winning of like a normal casino, not I guess normal casino, but like normal gambling. They would have a 50-50 chance. They're just throwing their money away while he's just throwing it back in their face like, oh yeah, it's a fun thing. And they wouldn't disclose that they are the owner, which is highly illegal.
Oh, yeah, 100%. That's terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Especially because, not that CSGO appeals to a younger fan base, but I'm sure a lot of the fan base of these streamers is younger.
Mm-hmm. But it happens a lot more than I like to admit. It's really sad.
Yeah, that's awful.
And that's all of the CSGO ones. So I'm going to read you the titles of the last 4. Or so I think there's 5 left, and then we'll cut this one out. So we have I'm not gonna give you anything else other than the titles. So the title 1, we have Echo Fox Implodes.
Oh.
All right. Next one, Live Fixes StarCraft Matches ends up in jail. Next one, Andy Din lets his temper get the best of him. We have Carlo Cuckoo Palad's heated gamer moment. And then Blitzchun pokes the bear.
Interesting. All right.
Which one tickles your fancy?
Which one? Which category next?
Oh no! Which one of those stories? We're gonna read one more. Which one of those 5?
Oh, okay. I want to hear the one. The last one.
Blitzchun pokes the bear.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the most mysterious and nondescript one.
All right. Before I read this, please, my humblest apologies if I get any of these names wrong, because it is a Hong Kong based team. So, staying on this theme, in 2019, a Hearthstone pro, Blitzchun, aka Nigwai Chun, won a Hearthstone Grandmasters tournament in Taiwan. At the end of his victorious interview, Blitzchun proclaimed, "Liberate Hong Kong, the revolution of our times," in support of the protest against Hong Kong's extradition bill occurring at the time. Blizzard responded with a ridiculous stringent punishments, which onlookers quickly attributed to pressure from the Chinese government, which is famously sensitive to these speech violations. Blitzchung was forced to relinquish his prize money and earned suspension from competitive Hearthstone for a year, which resulted in widespread expiration from Blizzard fans, including a straight-up boycott. Blizzard later returned Blitzchung's winnings and reduced the ban to 6 months, admitting that it acted too quickly, but denying that either pressure from the Chinese government or the content of Blitzchung's statement factored in the decision.
Yeah, now that you said that, I actually do remember that happening, because that was a big thing when it happened.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's insane.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Crazy.
All right, and that is our segment for the biggest esports scandals. So now we have MCU and we have sports. Which would you like to hear about next?
Let's do MCU next.
Okay. This website has 12 scandals, so I will read them, and then just tell me which one you want to stop at. So right. Number 12, we have the Ed Norton saga.
Oh.
At 11,
he's the guy who played Hulk. I know that.
Yeah. At 11, we have Scarlett Johansson sues over streaming.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Number 10, Natalie Portman's anger over the firing of Patty Jenkins.
Oh. I feel like I vaguely remember that one.
Number 9, Spider-Man nearly swings away.
We got to do that one.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks to previous deals that allowed Sony and Fox to make movies out of their biggest character, Marvel Studios couldn't include the likes of Spider-Man and the X-Men in their cinematic universe. Sony wouldn't budge when Marvel asked about Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker making a cameo in The Incredible Hulk. And the studio even refused to let Marvel mention Empire State University, the character's alma mater. At this point, the likelihood of ever seeing the wall crawler teaming up with the Avengers seemed like a pipe dream at best. However, all that changed when diminishing returns on Sony's The Amazing Spider-Man films left the studio desperate to turn things around. And in 2015, they announced a deal that saw them share Spider-Man with Marvel Studios, and then it all came crashing down. Following 2 widely successful films in the MCU, the deal between the 2 studios expired in 2019, and negotiations to renew the contract collapsed. According to sources, Disney was looking for a larger stake in the Spider-Man films, but Sony wasn't interested, and things got so bad that negotiations were declared entirely dead, considering the original deal had been so unprecedented, with 2 major rivals teaming up to share licensing rights on a single franchise. It probably shouldn't have been a surprising development. But that didn't stop fans and the MCU Spider-Man Tom Holland from panicking. It was Holland himself who played Peacemaker, making a passionate plea to Disney CEO Bob Iger during a phone call. After that, the 2 sides came back to the table and the 11th hour to ink a new deal.
Dude, I remember that because the headlines were going crazy because the contract expired and both sides just kind of went silent because they couldn't come to an agreement. And that was shortly after I think it was right after Far From Home came out. It was either right before or right after, but it was right after. And so everybody was like, okay, like you can't just stop. Somebody's got to do something. Because that was the messy thing is it was Tom Holland's Spider-Man was kind of one of those things that was co-owned. Mm-hmm. So it's like, technically speaking, neither side could just make their own new movie with it. Even if Sony decided that they wanted to do their own thing, I don't think they could have continued that story since Disney had stake in it. And so that was a huge thing, was like, what's going to happen with Spider-Man?
I just find it so funny that Tom Holland had to be the peacemaker. It's like, Mom, Dad, please, I want to keep doing my job.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. I don't know how they kept up that contract so long, because that's, especially with a property as big as Spider-Man, that's such a crazy thing to orchestrate. And that's the problem, is a lot of people a lot of people like want Sony to continue. Maybe that's not what I should say, because the Amazing Spider-Man 3 was supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like that got canceled because the second one just didn't do well.
Ooh.
And that's when they decided to do the Tom Holland thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of funny because now there's a huge call for Sony to actually make an Amazing Spider-Man 3. But then it's like people just keep forgetting. It's like, do you remember Morbius? Do you remember anything else that Sony's done with the Marvel stuff in the last couple of years? Like, do you really trust them to be able to make another Amazing Spider-Man? And that's the problem too, is like the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, I guess. There's hours of cut content from those movies that would have made the movie so much better. But Sony was the ones who stepped in and said, no, we don't want that. Cut that stuff out. And so it's like, do you really want Sony to be the ones to make another Spider-Man movie? Let's think about this for a second.
Speaking of fans being bad, have you heard about, a little bit off topic, have you heard about the live action Moana? And how people are angry about it?
I haven't heard much about the backlash, but I heard that it's happening.
It's like the backlash has been people are like, you know why these one-off movies are good? It's because they're one-offs. You don't need to remake them. They were good at how they were. And this one reporter, I guess one news anchor, she said, completely roasted them, by the way. She goes, Disney's so uncreative. They got to fall back on what was good, and they have no team to actually think of something original. I'm like, oh, damn.
That's exactly what it is, though.
It is.
I mean, it's one thing to remake a movie like The Lion King that came out, almost 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Moana came out less than a decade ago.
Wasn't it like 2016?
Why are we already remaking it? Yeah, it was 2016 maybe. It's like, why are we already remaking this movie? It's so unnecessary. I don't get it.
Okay,
and that's not to say all the remakes have been bad, because I really enjoyed the live action Beauty and the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, especially for something like Moana, it's like, why? Why?
And then follow-up question: is it better or worse that The Rock is cast in the movie?
I think, and maybe this is an unpopular opinion, this might get our podcast banned. I think The Rock is the most overrated actor and human being in the world.
Did I ever tell you about The Rock's contract that he has with studios?
No.
Oh my God. Okay. So for viewers sorry, we're getting on a tangent, but that's okay. You guys subscribe to us. You guys are understanding this. So I think it's The Rock and I think it's Vin Diesel. It was someone else. They have contracts with any movie that they do that they physically in the movie cannot lose a fight. They will not play in that movie if they are destined to lose. That is 100%. They'll just drop it immediately.
That's
like,
crazy.
What?
Yeah. So I just like, I am not a huge fan of The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know why, because I don't even think he's that good of an actor. He plays the same character in every movie.
To be fair, though, what is his name? Terry. Is his name Terry?
Terry Crews.
Yeah, Terry Crews plays Terry Crews in something.
Oh, exactly. But that's the thing, is he embraces it, and he has fun.
Shout out
with
to Terry
it.
Crews. I love Terry Crews.
Terry Crews is awesome. I just watched White Chicks for the first time the other day.
For the first time?
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Yo. Okay,
Yeah,
scale from 1 to 10.
so
How
good.
good was it? 10 being the best.
Oh my gosh, it was. I mean, probably like a 7 or an 8.
Okay, that's fair.
In terms of raw comedy factor, like it was, it was funny.
Make him a
Yeah, I thought it was great, but yeah, it's just like Terry Crews is just he plays like the same character and everything, but he enjoys it. The Rock is just.
The Rock?
I think the Rock, he's a funny guy, but I think he takes himself too seriously. sometimes, if that makes sense. Like, he has to go on screen and he has to make himself look like a badass.
Well, that just might be
And
his
like,
persona that he has as an actor.
I'm sure it is, because that's kind of, I think, how his WWE character was as well.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So I think that's just kind of his thing, which is fine. But just like, I think there are so many other actors who could play Maui just as good. And like, I don't know.
Okay.
I just think the dude's overrated.
I know it's a very, very, very hard no from anyone else, but I just want to hear your reaction to this. Maui, right? Imagine animated Maui, right? You hear his voice, you hear him singing, you see him moving, you see him dancing, right?
Yeah.
Jack Black.
Okay. Did you hear about Jack Black's latest role?
No, what is it?
I don't know if this is real, but this was taking the headlines last week or so. Supposedly, and apparently they just started filming in like New Zealand or something. Apparently Jack Black is playing Steve in a live action Minecraft movie.
Shut the fuck up.
And apparently it's got like Jason Momoa in it and like a few other big name actors. I was like, who did this? Whose idea was this? Like, that's insane. In an animated movie? Sure. That's what I thought it was at first, but apparently it's a live action Minecraft movie with Jack Black as Steve.
As of 10 hours ago, Jack Black confirms role in Minecraft movie. WCLU radio.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Like, because that was the thing, is he posted a picture on Instagram with like holding like a Minecraft book, and he said roll study or something. And that's where it started. And like, that's just crazy to me. On the topic of live action stuff, like, that's insane. Also, one more note on that, because we were talking about Terry Crews. I was so pissed off, and that's why I never watched the live action Little Mermaid.
Yeah,
I wasn't opposed to it. Like, I don't get kind of the controversy, the problems that a lot of people had with it. But that was the one thing that pissed me off, and the reason I had no interest in seeing it was because originally when they announced that they were doing that movie, rumor had it that Terry Crews was going to play Neptune or Poseidon or whatever his name is in the movie, Ariel's dad.
Yeah.
Rumor had it that Terry Crews was supposed to play him, and I was like, that is perfect. That is awesome. I will go see that movie. And then the movie came out, and it was just some other random dude. I was like, no!
Let's see who it was.
That was the one chance that I was going to see that movie, was if Terry Crews was in it.
Can you imagine him just being in there like, power?
It would have been so funny, been so good.
King Trident.
Yeah,
Javier Bardem. Javier Bardem.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
What is he? Why do I know him? What do I know him?
I think he's another sub, and so that's what I mean. I'm not disparaging his role in that movie. I'm sure he was great, but we got robbed out of Terry Crews, and so I just never brought myself to watch the movie. But what was the other? Oh, this just hit headlines yesterday. Supposedly, Paramount is making a live-action Danny Phantom movie.
Shut up.
which could either be really good or really bad.
It will be really bad. If it's really bad, I will.
I mean,
out. I will find them.
In terms of like referencing source material, they did a fantastic job with Good Burger 2.
Oh, 100%.
So like, if they get like Butch Hartman on as a writer or something, or some producer, like, I think it's got a chance. But I saw that headline yesterday, and I was just like, this could either be really awesome or the biggest mistake they've ever made.
Who do you put it at Danny though? I think honestly,
that's the
in
thing.
my opinion,
I don't know.
Danny, if Danny's not a good actor, like, that fits immediately ruined in my eyes.
Yeah. No, the casting has to be perfect. And I don't really know, because I don't know a lot of, like, younger actors anymore. I saw one person say Tom Holland, which maybe.
Okay, Tom Holland I would accept. I wouldn't be stoked, but
Yeah.
that's one of the ones I'm like, yeah, I can live with that.
Right. I could see it, but there's probably other options out there.
Yeah.
I have no idea, but I hope they don't ruin it. I really hope they do it right.
We have like 7 minutes left, and we've gone through one of the MCUs. So
Yeah. All
Don't you guys love our tangents?
Scandals. Yeah.
All right, we're at number 8. Ike Perlmutter gets kicked to the curb.
Who?
Ike Perlmutter?
Huh. I don't know who that is.
There's a photo of, I think it's, I don't know what character it is, but in the paragraphs, oh no. I just read what it is, and this is terrible.
Oh, no.
Oh, we're going to read it, because this one is, ooh, and there's another paragraph, oh no. All right, so Ike Perlmutter is a controversial figure, to say the least. He joined the board of directors at Marvel Comics in 1993 and helped save it from bankruptcy. God damn.
Yeah.
Do you know what he did?
No.
Oh,
I recognize the name, though.
hold on to your seat, muchacho, because this is going to get bad. He was named Marvel Comics CEO in 2005, just a few years before the MCU came into existence. Perlmutter remained CEO when Disney bought Marvel Entertainment in 2009, but he would clash with both MCU architect Kevin Feige and Disney head honcho Bob Iger over his outdated views. According to Iger, Perlmutter opposed making quote-unquote Black Panther and quote-unquote Captain Marvel, believing that people wouldn't watch movies led by black and female superheroes. In quotes, I called Ike and told him to tell his team to stop putting up roadblocks and ordered that we put both Black Panther and Captain Marvel in production. Iger said it in his memoir, The Ride of a Lifetime. Both films made over $1 billion globally. Things came to a head after clashes with his own executives left him demanding that Kevin Feige be fired. To settle the situation, Bob Iger split the company in two, giving Perlmutter control of Marvel Productions on television and Feige unfettered control over the films. But that hardly put an end to Perlmutter's melding, and he was let go when Disney decided to shake things up in 2023. Though the official word is that his removal was a cost-cutting measure, Perlmutter didn't take the dismissal lying down. He implied in a statement that he was the only one at the company who cared about profits. In quotes, I have no doubt that my termination was based on fundamental differences in business between my thinking and Disney leadership, because I care about return on investment, he told the Wall Street Journal. Holy crap.
Oh my goodness. That's wild. I didn't know all that. I recognized the name, but oh my gosh.
I was just reading the paragraph.
Crazy.
So I was just gonna start to name Black Panther and Captain Marvel, thinking that he was in the movies, and then directly underneath it I read black and female superheroes. I'm like, oh.
So he's that guy. Oh.
Also, I'm the only one that cares about return on investment. They made over $1 billion. Also, this fuckwad is the reason that the company split in two. They would have been a united front, but because of him, they split them in two, and they can't revert it now.
That's wild.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Also,
that's terrible.
He's the reason that all MCU shows are terrible.
Yeah.
Because all the movies are good because of Feige.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Man. Yikes, dude.
Ugh. All right, we'll do one more MCU. We'll save sports scandals for next time. All right. So we got number 7, Trouble in VFX Land. Number
boy.
6, Terrence Howard leaves in a huff. Ooh, that one doesn't look good. Number 5, comic book creator Miffed and Stiffed. Let me know.
Miffed and stiff.
That's the title of it. Let me know when you want to stop and read one of these.
All right. Might be that one, but I want to hear the others.
Number 4, the sudden sacking of Victoria Alonso. Number 3, allegations of sexism. Number 2, James Gunn's firing and rehiring.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And the number 1 most controversial scandal that rocked the MCU, whitewashing in Doctor Strange.
Ooh. Interesting. Just out of curiosity, because I'm a huge comic guy, I want to hear the comic book creator. And I'm wondering if it's the one I'm thinking of.
What do you think it is?
Is it Mark Bagley
No.
by chance? No, okay. Because that's the thing, is there was a series that came out. I don't know if it was before 2010, but it might have started before 2010. It was like the Ultimate Spider-Man, which is, I mean, it was huge because it was like alternate universe, crazy, and there was like an entire Ultimate universe, but Ultimate Spider-Man was kind of the main driving force behind it. Anyways, Mark Bagley, who's been in the comic game forever, he was the sort of kind of artistic director behind it, and he was just the comic artist on it, and so he's known for giving Spider-Man like very just like skinny build but super dynamic. He's got huge lenses on the face, lots of webbing. There's kind of like when you as a comic fan, when you imagine Mark Bagley like Spider-Man, that's what you see. Anyway, so he was like the driving force behind this Ultimate Spider-Man. Basically, that his iconic design went on to inspire Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man 2 outfit.
Oh, okay.
Like that's what his looks like if it were in real life. And the big eyes. Anyways, and then they went on to make like an Ultimate Spider-Man show, all this stuff. And I saw an interview with him where they were just like, you know, is it like cool to see your stuff sort of adapted into like different mediums, like live action in a show? He's like, it'd be cooler if it came with a paycheck, because they're totally just like using his design work and his sort of stuff like that, and he's not getting any kickback from it. So I thought that's what it was about.
It actually is that. It's just not specifically him.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
The comic book artists and writers who created the characters and crafted the stories the MCU is based on haven't seen a financial windfall you might expect, given the franchise's success at the box office. In fact, many of them have barely seen a dime, while Marvel continues to rack in billions, and several creators have spoken out about how Marvel has left them high and dry. Writer Ed Brubaker, co-creator of the Winter Soldier character, spoke about his frustration at what little he and artist Steve Epstein have received from Marvel. Quotations, "For the most part, all Steve and I have got for creating the Winter Soldier and his storyline is a thanks here or there, and over the years that's become harder and harder to live with," end quotes. Brubaker revealed in a newsletter Marvel has been accused of trying to keep creators on side with apparent hush payments, a story that gained traction in 2021. That year, both The Hollywood Reporter and The Guardian talked to several creators about such practices. They claim that Marvel is known to have subtracted legal fees over owed royalty payments, and that the company used delay tactics to avoid paying altogether. One creator who wished to remain nameless said he was offered just $5,000, while the film that used his character made over $1 billion.
Wow. That's crazy. And then that's what I mean, is I've seen this firsthand. with certain artists that I like. I like this one Italian artist. His name is Gabriele Dell'Otto. He does painted covers and stuff for Marvel. His stuff is insane, amazing. And it's crazy because I keep seeing his artwork pop up on promotional stuff. So like t-shirts and posters. If you go on Displate, which I know is a huge sponsor of like podcasts and stuff.
Please sponsor us. Please sponsor us. Please sponsor us.
Please sponsor us, please.
Please.
That would be one company that I would totally. But anyway, so they've got like Marvel license and stuff. And so I see his artwork on there all the time, along with other artists that I like. And that's the crazy thing is these artists don't get paid royalties or anything for the use of that artwork. They get paid a one-time fee to paint that piece, and then Marvel owns it and can do whatever they want with it for the rest of eternity.
That's so shitty. There should be like a contract period of once you make the piece, there should be a like a show and tell, like, oh, this is the product you want. Like, oh, absolutely. And then they have to sign a contract to then gain the rights from that, and in the contract they have to be paid for it. That would make it better.
And that's why this is kind of a fun story. I know we're running short on time.
Yeah, you're fine. This is literally your time.
in the 90s, at least I think it was in the 90s, there was a group of people who had been working specifically for Marvel. It included like Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld, I think Jim Lee, who are all like iconic names in the comic industry. They were getting sick of Marvel's BS.
As one does.
Todd McFarlane was doing his own Spider-Man run where he was doing the artwork and the writing.
Ooh.
And he had this double-page spread, and I don't remember what happened. I think it was the Juggernaut, like, ripping somebody in half or something. Mm-hmm. And he had it, like, super gory and stuff, and he was, they kept telling him to dial it back, and he just didn't want to. Well, that book got published, and they hired another artist to go in and basically cover up his artwork.
Oh.
For, like, and so everybody was getting sick of Marvel. And so what they did was they decided to start their own comic company, which is now known as Image Comic, who makes stuff like Spawn and, Todd McFarlane's still at the helm of it. Mm-hmm. But it's funny because what had happened, which is so wrong, but it's such a middle finger to Marvel editorial in the 90s. What they did was, like, without Marvel even knowing, they started working on their own original characters, creating books, working on artwork, started getting all this stuff ready to publish. Mm-hmm. And guess what they did?
What?
Rob Liefeld was working on, I believe, X-Men at the time. And what he did is he drew an advertisement for the new book he had been working on at Image Comics. He drew it into the X-Men issue. Didn't tell any Marvel editorial that he was doing it. That book went to print with that ad printed in it saying this book releases next week or whatever. And he immediately quit at Marvel and went over to Image full time. I was like, that's such a big middle finger to Marvel. It's so funny.
Oh, that's really good.
I know it's so wrong, but it's so good. It's like sweet justice.
Notice.
Oh, they didn't notice until the book was like on shelves.
Imagine like the recalls, like we call it back.
Yeah,
it's
like,
sir.
No. And I'm surprised. I don't know if there was a lawsuit or if they ever took it to court or tried to, but that was like that is like a crazy thing.
Oh my!
It's so good. I love it. But yeah, no, comic artists constantly get screwed.
Apparently, like
that's what I mean. Comic artists, animators, criminally underpaid and underappreciated jobs. But hey, that's why conventions are nice for a lot of artists because it lets them sell their original work and stuff. Because Marvel doesn't have any ownership over the original piece of artwork. So it's like you can still sell your pencils or your painting or whatever. You just can't sell prints of that piece. If you do it under Marvel contract, obviously. Yeah, it's crazy. crazy how these people can create these characters that are used in these movies and not see a dime for it.
It's really stupid as well that like they're paying all these actors, right, to do the lines and all that stuff that someone wrote for them.
Yeah.
They're just the face. Like if you would have said any of Marvel's comic names, like the writers, the illustrators, anything, would not know who they were. But if you say like, oh, Tom Holland, you can immediately think about him. You know who he is. And the only difference is you see Tom Holland. Like, this is no disrespect to Tom Holland at all. He's an amazing actor, a very caring guy. It just sucks to like there are people that work so hard and they get nothing for it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But that's I guess that's the downside to working for a major publisher like that.
Yeah, apparently.
And that's why it's so important to support like indie creators, whether it's comic or artwork or whatever, just because it's, you know, they're trying to do their own thing so they don't have to go through that at a big company. But that's how it goes, I guess.
By the way, quick aside, I read the first one, the Ed Norton saga, just to see what it was. I was slowly reading through it. Apparently, this guy wanted he wanted credit for the film, but the Writers Guild of America refused to give him one after reviewing his reworks or his rewrites. He didn't make enough changes according to the board. He wanted credit for changing almost nothing.
Wow. That's insane.
All right. And what I have to say to all these sagas is, or I guess to all these controversies, is the game's the game, you know? The game's the game.
Game is game.
Game is game.
Good wrap up.
But we have more for later on. I think we only went through 3 of the 12 for MCU. We still have the other one. So maybe this is for a rainy day that we got more.
Yeah.
So let us know in the comments or send us a message at our business email, tkrpod@gmail.com. If you guys want to hear more, or they can leave comments or on Spotify, right?
Yeah.
We will
There's
read
like
them
a
if you send them
Q&A
in.
thing. You don't have to answer the question. You can just leave a comment if you want.
You guys should do that so we know. I'm looking at my camera like it's on. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. We are very sorry that we had a little break, but as you guys can hear, we are taking advantage of our young lives and making sure that we are living our lives to the fullest. I mean, at least I am. Riley is kind of drowning in self-pity. And
Yep.
But when he's on that stage, I think it'll all be worth it. But thank you guys for watching.
Hope so.
And we will see you guys again. Insert
Sometime.
time. We'll see you guys again here.
Sometime.
Have a good night
Eventually.
and drive safe if you live in Michigan.